Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Naval.
Good afternoon, dear students. I am Navaljeet Singh Arora, Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, is the host of this session. We have with us the distinguished speaker of this session, Mr. Anand Bhushan. Currently, he is Vice President, that is VP at Capgemini India of Delivery Partner, Cloud Transformation and Innovation and Global Delivery. He had completed his BTech from HPTU Kanpur in Chemical Technology and completed course on pricing strategy from Institute for Management Development based in Lausanne, Switzerland, as well as in Singapore. This institute is ranked in top 3 of the FT's Executive Education Global Ranking for 9 consecutive years. Before becoming VP at Capgemini India, he had worked as section manager at Bajaj Auto Limited, developer and PM at Infosys Technologies Limited, senior consultant at Capgemini Consulting, project manager at ABN AMRO Bank NV Netherlands, associate consultant at TCS, vice president information technology at Loyalty Rewards Management Private Limited, and on various posts at Capgemini Amsterdam such as client delivery executive, delivery center manager, offshore lead, etc. He is high caliber technology leader who had offered more than a decade of success driving top level technology performance for global blue chip corporations in the area of financial services sector, life sciences, telecom domain, manufacturing and sales, and public sector, where he had worked with Ministry of Defense at Dutch. With 22 years of overall experience, he is having good exposure of working in a cross-cultural work environment with distributed delivery models spread across multiple geographies. His specialization majorly includes cloud transformation, deep understanding of IT infrastructure and information security, technology landscape transformation, product conceptualization, product development, budget management, people and HR management, productivity improvements, and a strong delivery with focus on cost savings for clients. His motto, that is, make things happen and let the team win, reflects that he is truly a leader and having clear vision for the success of any organization. With these words, I would like to request Mr. Anand to take over the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Navaljeet. And I welcome you all. And I feel again that I'm back in college. And credit goes to you all. So one of the requests I have that I would like you all to be interactive. Okay. Uh, Today, because I saw that this is a Dikshant Samaro. And I think the name could not have been more apt than what has been done. I don't know who did this, but this is something as a very important milestone of your career where you all are there. And I will be speaking all about this milestone because this milestone will redefine your future milestone of your life. That's more important, and career. Why I'm saying life and career as a two different aspect. Anyone would like to give a shot?
I would request students to post their suggestions on the chat box.
Okay, so I will continue. Please keep posting there. And Navaljeet, if you can help me, if any post or anything that is coming. Yes, perfect. Career defines quality of life. Then I'll ask, what is quality of life? That's a very wide term. And precisely this is what I will speak in this Dikshat Samaro. Okay, because there are three things. What you are going to be there for 4 years, that will define you for next 40 years. Trust me, this is something where you will be formatted. Many of you, because when I started my engineering, the word format didn't exist. And now everybody, whether it's part of mechanical, chemical, computer, any technology and stream what you have chosen, you understand the word formatting. The formatting is an important aspect, has become in this industry as well as in our life. These 4 years will format you. So let's take a pride in where you are in. Uh, Last week it was Engineers Day, right? Uh, yes, that's life. Happiness is more important. Uh, why we should be taking pride in becoming an engineer, becoming a technologist? Anybody know? Can anybody answer that? Yes, opportunities for progress. Can anybody answer that? Why engineering you feel proud of becoming an engineer? And I'm just whatever I'm quoting, I'll be quoting from social media. There are lots of uh, uh, things were floating in social media about engineers on Engineers Day. And one aspect was why we engineers and we technology, yes, you need engineers everywhere. Yes, engineers can do anything. That's also expectation of the world. And yes, I will tell you, there is one thing which caught my attention, that if you want to be a very good doctor, you need to see the most difficult and fragile patients. Doctors are very important in this corona days. To be very good, to be very important, you need a scarcity. That's a doctor. You need to be very good lawyer. It means the crime should be very high. Otherwise, we will ask for good lawyer. That's not the case with engineers and technologists. When growth happens, so doctors and engineers, doctors and lawyers, they prosper when things around them go bad. And when engineers prosper, when economy grows, when we bring changes, when some engineers they bring change, like Tesla brought change as engineer, like Uber brought a change. These are where engineers prosper. So we bring more positivity than any other profession that brings. And this is where, with that note, I'll start that next 4 years that will be redefining you. So anything and everything that you should be taking care of, I would say 3 priorities that you should keep. So in the first 20 minutes, I'll speak about what should be your 3 priorities while you are in the college. I am not the guru. And Digvijay sir, when I was in your college couple of months, I think in 2019 I was there.
Yes, sir.
I had met many of your faculty, and I was very much impressed. They are your guru. I will call myself as an as a mentor, coach, guide, somebody who had seen industry struggle through, came out of it. See, their life would be is all about struggle. And how happily you are handling it, that defines your life. Okay, and this is where the priorities that you need to set for next 3 years, next 4 years. That is priority number 1: learn. Learning should be your priority, and this is what I have also learned in last. I started in engineering in 95. I graduated in 99, and during those 4 years my focus had been learning. I don't know if Dr. Raisar is there. I always ensured that I am ahead of many people. Be competitive. Learning should be your focus. And while you are learning is only the computer science, only the mechanical engineering, thermodynamics. You should understand this, because anything and everything what you're going to learn may or may not be used for after 4 years, but it will provide you perspective. Perspective is more important in your professional life or private life. That gives you point of view, and that's where learning is more important. Learning, when you say other than course, also read books. Read books on how I'm giving an example because I can only take my example here. I don't read heavy management books because it, for me, it becomes boring. Many people, they read that. I don't read any pulp fiction. What I read about how Tesla transformed, what struggle Steve Jobs had been through, how Infosys was formed, or some of the experience of Gurucharan Das. I don't know if you know about Gurucharan Das, or some of the experience of Hindustan Unilever CEO. I'm forgetting the name right now. Uh, how did he transform Unilever in India? Okay, because that will give you perspective and point of view. So your focus for next 4 years will never come back for all of you. So focus should be on learning. That's a very crucial aspect. A, learning about cause. B, learning about how the world is evolving around you. Because when you will get into the professional life and personal life, this will give a point of view. When I'm working with my team and where they come up with an idea, and this is where I'm connecting to my next point, important is point of view, because no point of view is right or wrong. The point of view is your point of view based on what you have studied, what you have seen, what we have experienced. And when you read, when you learn, you also acquire somebody else's perspective and somebody else's point of view. So learning next 4 year should be focused, which as an industry peer, I'm saying that I'm a peer for all of you. This would be my advice number one. Focus should be on learning. Then what do you think I mean by learning anything and everything based on what I said? And what advantage it will bring to you? Anybody can just put this on the chat box. I will come back to you. What was my first job? My first job gave me the best learning of my career. Even though whatever I prospered or grew in my world in IT industry, the best learning I had working in Bajaj Auto. So the Bajaj Auto, my first job. But my question to you all is, what do you mean by learning? Okay, so as much knowledge we can. Anybody else? Learning from experience and failure of us and others. See, next 4 years, you will go through many ups and downs. Many things also you learn on practical. Handle pressure. Very good. Applying knowledge in life. Trust me, whatever you're going to learn for next 4 years will never be able to apply in the life. The learning for and B.L. Thareja's book, Yashwant Kanitkar's book, I never opened it up after I got graduated from my engineering degree. Learning is more important. That again, I used word format. That formats you. Knowledge you deserve and implement. No, knowledge something you don't deserve. You make knowledge deserving you. Okay, acquiring new skills and polishing the same. Yes, that's more important point, because of polishing. Okay, polishing will keep on happening. I'm still getting polished after 25 years of my, including my time in engineering. I'm still learning. If you ask me what do I learn, then the best learning which I would like to pass it to you, that where you need to practice now, is ideate. See, knowledge without imagination is waste. And then I'm sharing my experience. I'm sharing what I have a team of 1,000 people. I'm working right at this point in time for a retail transformation for a large retail of Europe. But when I discuss with my team, I also discuss same thing. Many of them are fresh out of college, and many of them they're from the industry. Ideation is most important aspect which you need to practice now. How can you grasp more is also an idea. How can you make things understood to your peers? That's also an idea. The thing how is very important. Something that I learned when I came in industry, and while I was graduating, And when I came to industry, I didn't have those things available to me, what is available to you. I'll tell you something that I traveled to Kanpur. Okay. How to get job in your company? Somebody posted this. Digvijay sir will definitely help you. You'll have to study hard. You should have a very good score. You have your own perspective, and this is what I'm speaking about as well today. Okay. So I traveled to Kanpur in a engine changed from steam to a diesel engine. It was still not electric engine. The train. Uh, there was no internet. There was no internet. There was PCO where you, if you used to get down, you need to call your parents and inform. There was no SMS, no WhatsApp. Uh, Even that time, the learning dimension was same what it is today. Now you have everything on your fingertips. So only difference when I was graduating and when you will be graduating was that the matter speed. So now anything and everything is speed. Anything and everything is speed. Because when I was graduating, the big organization used to matter a lot. And we have been taught since childhood that big eats small, right? Now the paradigm is shifting. Now big doesn't eat small. The faster eats slow. If you see Lehman Brothers, I don't know how much you have hooked in. Lehman Brothers got completely obsolete. They disappeared. Nokia got disappeared. And that also applies to human beings, on us. The speed is important. Why I am important, why I grew in my company, because I bring result faster than many colleagues. Okay, so speed would be crucial, because speed, and it is expected from industry, and to bring speed, ideation is more important, and you can't practice ideation after you are in industry. So you'll have to start practicing. I'll give you an example. Okay. At this point in time, many of you would be working from home. Are you all back in campus, Naval?
Yes, sir.
Oh, everyone who is in this virtual room are in campus.
Yes, sir.
Oh, brilliant. So when you are in campus, I'll give you one idea. Just try to see around how can you get the knowledge dissemination. Okay, somebody is saying no. Somebody is
Sir,
saying yes.
except students.
Huh?
Except students, the faculties are in campus.
Okay, so now the idea for, okay, students, the best experience you will have in campus, but this pandemic is stopping all of us.
They will be coming on 1st October.
From 1st October. Okay,
Yes.
congratulations everyone, because and stay safe. That's more important, because that would be my last point when I'll discuss with you. So ideation, I'll tell you that how can you disseminate without gathering and huddling together in this time of safety. And every tools, everything is available to you all. Start ideating now. Because and this is what I was telling you, when Bill Gates became Bill Gates, because at the age of 8, when he was 8 years old, what did he create? The first thing. Does anybody know? Yes, he had created an app that it was not called app that point in time, but today the same thing is called app. What app it was? Does anybody know? Okay. Yes, he had created a game. Yes, you're very close. No, he created software for traffic. No, he had created a TikTok game. Okay. Similarly, when Steve Jobs was a kid, and that's learning, that what you learn from different people, different perspective. When Steve Jobs was kid, he wanted to do something very adventurous. He was a kid, and the play area where he was living, CEO, founder of HP, was also living there. Founder of HP. and he called HP guy that I need some registers. Register, it used to call registers. Now this is a world of microprocessors and registers and some chips, because he wants to create and put his thinking alive. And HPCO had asked him that, how do you know that I'll pick up the phone? He said, okay, there is no harm in giving it a try. Okay, so the point here is that you'll have to keep trying. And somebody has said, learn from failures, learn from success. Very rightly said, because till you will get rebirth to the new life that is going to be there. And in that process, in both cases, you need to stay positive. So ideation is an important aspect. How you interact, you create something for, because this is what I also speak with my team. Then when you have time, you think that how can we improve our productivity? The productivity terms is that how can I deliver faster than Accenture, faster than TCS, and faster than Wipro? Because the more faster we deliver, the more economical we would be in competition in market, so that we can get more business, right? So that's ideation practice that you'll have to do now. Now, these 4 years will never come back. Never come back. Make most of it. And don't forget to have fun. When you are in campus, there is a definition of fun. Fun, while having fun, also ensure that you don't compromise. You will be building your health now. I'll tell you, this is the learning. I went to one of very senior person in Capgemini, and he invited me to Paris. That, Anand, let's have a lunch together, and then I will coach you. Okay. During the coaching, I asked him. I'm talking about this around 7-8 years back. Okay. And it was a very nice lunch. French people, when they invite you for lunch, it's a lunch, wine, everything. And I was surprised that in India, when you want to have a coaching, it would have been very different aspect. And in Europe, I travel in a train, which was very expensive, just for 1 hour lunch from Amsterdam to Paris, and Paris to back Amsterdam. It was costly. Then lunch, then time of both put together, it was very costly lunch I had, but worth investing money. And he said, Anand, I don't know why you are worried. You should not be. What you should focus on, your health. I am seeing your Facebook page, Anand. You run every day. In those days I was running. For last 6-7 months I am not running. Focus on your health. Don't take any side of something which is affecting, because unless health is on your side, you can't win. If you get promotion but you are not healthy, this promotion is of no use. If you grow but health is on your not side, it's all waste. So if you really want to invest, first keep health on your side all the time. I consider somebody gave me the best advice. Second advice from the same person. He's still with Capgemini. He's very senior. He's very old, 70. And because in Europe there is no retirement age, so he's still working there. And I really respect. And he's head of delivery, global head of delivery. And second said, while having this, have fun with you and your team. You know why did I invite you for such expensive restaurant in center of Paris? Because you also need to pay it back. So health and fun should go hand in hand together. While you are studying, create the best positive environment what you can. And these 3 things are most important aspect when you are going to study. Because this is a Dikshant Samaro, I shared what I believe. Okay. Before I move to the next topic, okay. Are there very strict restriction in the college? I would recommend there should be very strict. I recommend there should be very strict. What do you mean by strictness? When you will be also leading things, I'll tell you one of the example. In my team, somebody flew to Finland and then said that I will work from Finland, Anand. I removed him from company. Many people call this I'm callous. Many people called me that this was not a people centric, but discipline is discipline. And you all will represent your college. You all will represent your institution, and most importantly, yourself. So yes, strictness doesn't mean that you can't walk, you can't make noise, but important is that the 4 years should be your best year, most learning year, and you should be competitive because you have energy. When you will start aging, your energy will start dissipating. That's why I call these 4 years the best year of your career. Did it answer your question, my friend? Okay, before I move to the next topic, that what care you should do for corporate world and what would be needed in the corporate world. Any questions so far from any of you? I'm just looking at this your chat box at this point in time. Any questions from any of you before I move to the next topic? Okay, so now let's speak about corporate world. Somebody asked me in this question, what was your first job? My first job was in Bajaj Auto. Okay, and with the sheer experience what I had in my engineering college, the reading habit what I had developed, first you would be learning a lot from your peers, people from different background in India, different culture, different upbringings. You all would be coming together. You all need to learn from each other without ridiculing things, because you at some point in time you will also stand in front of mountain. So it's we need to first thing that I learned. Okay, so what the new skills needed for IT world in 5 to 10 years from the now, I'll come to that as well, but I will share this with you what is needed in corporate world. So I did my graduation in chemical technology. I joined Bajaj Auto on the shop floor, paint shop, and I was not enjoying. I'll share with you. So Rajiv Bajaj, who is right now president of Bajaj Auto and head of HR, they planned a meeting with all graduate trainee engineers. All graduate trainee engineers. And there they were asking question how things are going, everything is all right. And I stood up and said, no, I don't think things are going on right track. I'm moving from shop floor to shop floor and I'm not enjoying, because I was not knowing that this is what I need to do. If I would have known that this is what I need to do, I would not have joined Bajaj Auto. Rajiv Bajaj started laughing. He said, welcome to the corporate world. And one of my fellow graduate training engineer, who were fresh out of college, was saying from the background, Anand, tu to fire ho gaya. Aaj company se nikal denge. And after the meeting, Rajiv asked me that if I would like to have a cup of coffee with him. I said, sure, Rajiv. I went to his cabin. He said, Anand, while you were speaking that you don't enjoy, you were speaking from the bottom of your heart. What will make you happy? What would you like to do? He said, where I will learn. He said, but you are on the shop floor, you are not learning. And this is where the entire discussion started changing. I know that on the shop floor you are learning because lots of people who are not as educated as you. So you are learning how to survive in the world. You also are learning how to get things done. So why you are having this perspective? And then I said that whatever I studied is nothing is being used here, Rajiv. He said, no, a study was more important to shape you as an educated fellow. But for professional world, somebody asked me question, professional world important is that what is how you are shaping the world around you. That's the professional world. And I was a fresh out of college student, uh, moved into professional world. I didn't understand his point. And I'm very honest with you. That how can I shape the world around me? And asked this question very boldly. He said, okay, I'm creating a plant in Chakan. Would you like to join me, Anand? Because this would be the world class plant. Then I asked him, what will I do? He said that my biggest problem of Bajaj Auto is that we are not able to step up my production because my plants are old, because I can't put the right machinery because of the way it was designed. So I am creating something called cellular manufacturing system, which is based off. This is a part of production engineering. I didn't do production engineering, my friend, and I immediately said yes. That sounds interesting. And I had a good 1 year with Rajiv Bajaj in Chakan plant before I moved to Infosys. In Infosys, I'm sharing my learning with you. In Infosys, I was put through one of the most rigorous training I had been to. People who are in Yashwant computer science asking in IT, please ensure you learn language C, because only language which has not been stale is C. If you learn C, and this was the most difficult language to be very fair. So the learning that I had there in Infosys to handle pressure. Somebody said they learn pressure, and this was I was trained about while working in HBTI. How to handle the difficult things, how to ensure you learn new languages, and then I put to project, and this is where learning starts. The best learning before you learn what is important 5 to 10 years from now, important is how you collaborate. The collaboration and working together, and especially in the world where we are getting into, would be the most important aspect. Collaboration with your peers, and this is what you also need to practice for 4 years. Because if you don't practice collaboration, you all understand collaboration. I heard this word for the first time when I moved to industry, so I'm asking this question. Collaboration, everybody understands? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Very good. So this would be the most sought after skill. This will help you grow. If you collaborate, you will learn further. Then comes engagement. Engagement is like I'm trying to engage with you. I'm asking questions to you. I'm trying to get the feel where साथ में काम करना. Very good. Moksh. Yes, working together. Different country has a different language. Dutch language is samen werken. If you see this working together has got importance in every culture, every country, every caste, every religion. That would be the skill that you all need to develop in professional world. That's the message. I'll come to somebody asked question, what language 5 to 10 years down the line? And that's a very important question that you have asked, because no language would be required to learn and to focus on what is there for 7 years. Because in last 22 years, I have been through many language. And this is where collaboration, engagement, integrity, honesty in corporate world, these are the most, whether it's a corporate world, whether you are working for an organization, or many of you, if you're focusing on working for yourself, starting a startup. This would be the skill that is needed. Now, these three things I will try to explain through my experiential journey. So in Bajaj Auto, I was learning cellular manufacturing system. Cellular manufacturing system I was not knowing because it was not taught in our class. Kanban, the Japanese manufacturing system, total quality management, total productivity management, these are the assignment I got from Bajaj Auto after 3 months of graduate engineering training. I was still graduate engineer trainer. What did I do? I went to a library, I started doing search, I started consulting seniors, started knocking doors. I became desperate because I must succeed. You know what was going on in my mind? That I challenged Rajiv Bajaj when 180 graduate engineers were sitting there. 180, I said I don't enjoy, and I got something which sounds interesting to me, sounds interesting, so I must do things well. I did those things very well. In that plant, in that plant, I improved productivity, and that time, I don't know if you know about it. Many of you would be in school. I'm talking about 99 and early 2000. Uh, there was a scooty that was called Spice and Sapphire. They were not able to manufacture 10 sapphires in a day. I took it to 120 sapphires in a day. Sapphire manufacturing from assembly line. I got assembly line task, and then one day I was called by Rajiv. Rajiv was personally managing that plant, and that plant still exists. That Anand, can you go to engine shop? I had not done anything in mechanical engineering. And I said, okay, I'm not a mechanical engineer. How can I go to engine shop? He said, no, that's not important. You are bringing thinking in practice. You increased productivity by engaging with the front force. You also ensured that even every spot of assembly line, and from where did you learn? I wasn't born. Okay, Shyam. Uh, so, so you mean to say that I'm as old as some furnitures in your house, right? So, yes, indeed. Uh, so that's the part of learning. And then I came to Infosys. In Infosys, I first went through a training. That time, web was coming as technology. And in web, it was Microsoft, it was ASP, Java. The web technology was coming up. So we were trained in web technology. And the most difficult part, and somebody asked about strictness, so I will give you example of strictness. In Infosys, if you, now those days, I don't know how things happen now, if you don't clear exam twice, then third time you'll be given a chance and you'll be out of the company. They were so strict. And there's certain percentage that you need to clear. Okay. No. All of us, you combine not. Because I will tell you now the last point with the reverse mentoring. So then I was put to a project which was mainframes. Mainframe was technology which I still relevant, and I learned that. So the technology from web to mainframe. In mainframe, it was COBOL, CAKES, all technology you may not have heard now, but the concept is still helping me. And there was a language, is a low-level language called Rex, and that also helped me. If you see Python, how it works now, if you understand Rex, then it also helps you to understand Python very well. So even I did assembly language, that is even those days, and it helped me to have a perspective. And this is where in my first half an hour I told you to have perspective. Okay. Now After that learning, one day my manager called me. Many of you know SAS analytics, SAS analytics tool, analytical tool. Okay, so it was 2001. I was called by my manager that Anand, you have a good grasp on database. Can you create a statistical model? This is a requirement from American Express. I was not knowing SAS. I outrightly said no. I learned web. Now I've learned mainframe. Now you're asking me to learn SAS. Sorry. My manager returned back, and then I got a call from head of Europe. I was working those days also for Europe, Snigdha Mitra, and she requested me that Anand, I know you don't know, but nobody in Infosys they know about it. He said, yeah, Snigdha, I try to find out from where I'll get knowledge. Those days there was no Google. Alta Vista was there, but there was no asset in the web. And then she said that Anand, if you succeed is your success. If you fail is I will fail. Give it a try. Give it a try. Okay, I came back to my desk and I dropped an email to Snigdha. Snigdha, where should I look for documents, books for SAS analytics? I got 2 documents of 600 pages each, 2 books. That Anand, go through this document. It was such a mammoth task. From that to SAS analytics, then I moved to Java world. There was a language, if you are search from IBM, that came a language called EGL, Enterprise Generation Language. And that time the thinking was that we can automate coding. So what people they think, thinking can get created in the form of coding. We can create code and we can compile those code either in Java or in C#. And that was an experiment I was put into by my company. And how we used to do that, there was a modeling language got created. It still exists. You guys will be learning unified modeling language, UML. And there was a company called Rational Rose, which is now taken over by IBM. And they changed everything. Rational Rose doesn't exist anymore, where you create entire software in terms of a model. And you do a right click and you generate code. So somebody asks, what technology? I'm seeing that moving from assembly line to web-based to mainframes to SAS analyticals to modeling language. From modeling language, that didn't succeed. And there we had created some software, we delivered it to some team that didn't succeed in the industry, not in the company, because things were evolving. I have seen the fast pace. That's why I'm suggesting you have in the pace. If you lose pace, you lose in this industry. So my friend, somebody asked, what will the future 5 to 10 years down the line? Nobody knows about it. So we'll have to keep pace. And then from EGL, I became a Java architect. From Java, somebody has said I worked for Dutch Defense. In 2008, I landed in Netherlands, and the general of the country. Who is the general of India? The chief of army staff in India. Okay, so chief of army staff of Netherlands asked me for a transformation of troop deployment to NATO countries. I was knowing nothing about the business of how the troop deployment happens. And in the .NET framework, we created an application using which troop deployments used to happen in NATO countries, including Afghanistan, when we do testing that time. And also, when troop deployment happens, and I learned there that the people have a different salary when they are in barrack, different salary when they are on the front, and different salary when they are in a war. Different salary when they are on a ship, different salary when they are in submarine, and everything gets measured in that, at least in that country. How it works in India, I still don't know. So we created here, the most important was not technology. So somebody who asked this question, so answer for everyone: is technology relevant? My answer is no. Then I moved to request was that I should do HR transformation, HR IT transformation for Dutch Defense, where I implemented PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft is an ERP, a product, a package. From there, I implemented ERP, Oracle ERP, in finance and supply chain management for PPG, is a large global paint company, and also for Canon. Canon, you all know. And right now, I'm doing implementation of SAP. So technology evolved in my career. Only thing, my friend, that you need to keep up the pace with is how soon you adapt. That's why I suggested in my previous session, learning and speed would be more important and decisive in your career. Now coming back, somebody had written and that you are experience and knowledge, all of us combined. No, that's not true. Now, when you all would be in the workforce, the definition, entire work, culture, ethics will get redefined. And this is where I give example. When I went to college, I didn't have internet. I didn't have WhatsApp, Facebook, iPhone, anything. But many of you, when you are coming to the work in college and will move to workforce, technology has evolved a lot. So there is a concept is called reverse mentoring. I also want to stay relevant. So next, after you graduate in the college, your goal should be how you are going to stay relevant. Stay relevant. And how can I stay relevant? If I understand from my friends who are coming in the college, how can I engage them? How can I get best of them? That will make me relevant for another 20 years to come in the corporate world. That's why when you said, okay, Prashad, you raised your hand, please ask your question. You can go unmute and ask a question, I don't know, or you can post the question in the chat box. I learned to just today Scratch language. And this is what I told you, reverse mentoring. Okay. So I have no clue. If you see at this point in time, another 4 years, if you ask me where you should focus on, you should first focus on the data part. Brilliant. Data part that you should focus on. My entire logic, my entire conversation with customer when I have gets very meaningful because I understand the database and data concepts very well. Because I have done a low level programming, I'm able to put things to perspective. Now the world where there are 2-3 kind of choices which you would be making when you come to IT industry. See, the IT industry, many of you think that IT industry is the best industry to be in. You guys are wrong. At this point in time, the non-IT industry, they command better salary when you reach at the same contemporary experience than what I command. People in supply chain management, people in production management, people in warehouse management, all engineering concept I'm speaking about, have far better command on the what they can get. So please don't limit yourself to IT. That's A. And B, while I'm working for a larger retail in Europe, and not only in Europe, they are in US, they are in Australia, they are in UK, across the globe, except India and Asia Pacific. Uh, that retail chain business is important. How the transportation of goods from supplier to retail to retail warehouse, from warehouse to point of sales, how fast and efficient it is going to be there so the product is not getting stale, and how the product getting positioned in the retail is also a knowledge that you need to know. So, and for that, data is important. If you don't understand data and if you don't measure it, so data science is all about how you measure data, how you analyze data, how you create control groups, you learn all these. And cloud computing, so data science and cloud computing are two different aspects, but they can go together. And Navaljeet sir had said in the cloud transformation part, so anything or everything in the future would be in the cloud, and the cloud is nothing but hyperscaler, a data center which is shared, data center which is available for all. That doesn't mean that in future the brick and mortar data center will be, because those are also brick and mortar data center. Okay, so its entire concept of using things are changing. So the focus should be how in cloud computing, how you move the conventional system to the cloud. That you will be learning in the 4 years, whether it's AWS, Azure, Oracle Cloud. So put, put your focus on the concepts. Don't limit yourself to Azure. Don't limit yourselves to AWS. Don't limit yourself to Google. Have a concept. Focus on concept. And I have 5 minutes. I'll tell you one small story. Uh, I was in Holland in an Indian community event, and I was talking to a person, and I'll be a little bit quick because I need to go to a meeting. Uh, and the person was saying that education system in India versus education system in Holland. And the person was corporate head of HR of Philips, and he was saying that, Anand, where you should be telling your colleagues, and I'm telling colleagues and peers, I'm calling you colleagues and peers, because we all will be working together as a part of industry. The focus should be most on experiential learning. You do a lot of things on your own. Don't wait that Nabalji sir or Divya sir will come and tell you. They may guide you when you are failing. They may guide you when you feel down. So these are the most important field where you should focus, that will stay relevant for next 10 years. Like I told you, in my 20 years, relevancy changed, and technology is moving so fast, it would be difficult to say which side that you'd be in. And but if you're doing data science, and data science for warehouse industry, data science for retail industry, the knowledge should also be focused towards retail. I remember when Infosys, when Narayan Murthy was inducting us as a part of a graduate ceremony within training, he said that my happiest day would be when these programmers become businessmen. I can get programming done from anyone, but understanding of the business when I see about how the goods supply will happen, how the consumer engagement will happen, how the waste reduction will get reduced. When they understand this business, that will be the best day of Infosys. And that is still relevant today when I'm working in Capgemini. And that's all the message I have for you. Focus on what learning, these 4 years, learning would be the key. And the speed with which you will create the change in your college, change in your study, change in your society, try to bring, because this is a nice crucible of your future, which will decide what you learn, what you practice, what you commit mistakes when you stand up in these 4 years should be the most memorable year for you in your career, in your life. So thank you so much. Any last questions? I can pick it up for next 2 minutes. Okay, I look up for inspiration and look for people like you. Okay, at this point in time, nobody better than the young people. They inspire me. My source of my inspiration is Elon Musk. My inspiration is Steve Jobs. My inspiration is, I don't know, because somebody said I was born at that time when I be part of engineering. Andy Grove, he was CEO of Intel. My inspiration was Carly Fiona. She was disgracefully removed from HP. That is a separate story, but Carly, she was a leader. So the focus, these are the things that, yes, Chief General Staff of India, yes, Chief of Staff. Okay, so these are, yes, indeed. Thank you. So, ask question, inspiration, I look forward to the people who have made difference. And at this point in time, my goal is that in 10 years down the line, I should be affecting the lives of tribal in the area where I live, for their education and for making their life better. So is priority inspiration that you should also look up to around you. Okay, you are asking this to a wrong question, person to this question to a wrong person. But only thing my advice would be, this is the right time for you guys. When you are at my age, it would be difficult for you to embark on entrepreneurial journey, because at this point in time you can take more risk what I can take, and as you age, your risk taking tendency reduces. So this is something that we can discuss in some. Okay, artificial intelligence. Oh, you, Aditi, you're asking a very right question. My view on artificial intelligence, that it is future, and artificial intelligence would be in many things. At this point in time, the program which I'm designing for retail, so that the forecasting and replenishment to the store can be done using artificial intelligence. Okay, if you try to think this artificial intelligence in terms of use cases which can be applied, it has good future. And this is where the guidelines have started coming from UNESCO, from UN, from countries on ethical artificial intelligence, because it is very easy to program something which can be biased. So indeed, this is a good career, and you should create some use cases and experiment in those 4 years. Next, I think now I have 2 more minutes for you, so that last 1 minute I'll hand it over to Navaljeet and Digvijay sir, and I'll move forward. Okay, back to you, Navaljeet and Digvijay sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always very pleasure to be part of this college, this institute, and whatever you are creating, I have been there, and in future I would like to be associated with you all.
Thank you, Anand sir.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you, sir.
you have
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
So
sir.
much.